Welcome to a special edition of Entrepreneurs in Fuego. We're documenting the journey of incredible entrepreneurs. We're here at the Talking Stick Resort for the 2016 Micropigmentation Conference with my main man right here, Bryce Cleveland. But right now I have my new best friend, Milla Rosen. How are you?
Very good.
Say that again, very good.
Very good.
I love that Russian accent.
Yes, you would say Russian.
Well, the old Russian, from Russia with love.
Exactly. That's where I came from 30 years ago.
30 years ago from the Ukraine.
Yes, from Soviet Russia, actually, to be correct.
Which does not exist any longer, but
Absolutely.
you came from the Ukraine, beautiful, right there at the Black Sea, Belarus to the north, Romania to the south.
Yes.
Medieval castles.
Actually, the first city of Russia was Kiev. This is where I'm from.
Kiev, yes.
Yeah,
yes,
over
yes,
1,500 years old.
Is that where Chicken Kiev came from?
Well,
That,
I don't know if it came from there, but it has the name.
They kind of named it.
Yes.
But that's okay. That's a culinary story, which we'll probably touch a little bit.
That's
later
how
on.
most of people know, Kiev. But Chicken Kiev.
The Chicken Kiev, exactly. Did you know that, Taylor? Oh, of course not. But you came from Atlanta.
Yes, I did.
Atlanta, Georgia. And that's where you have your spa, your clinic, if you will. How are you doing there? And how did you get into this permanent makeup and scalp aesthetics business?
It's kind of a long story, but I try to make it short.
This is your show. Take your time.
All right. I had completely two different careers in my life.
Yes.
And I'm lucky enough to have one right now, which I absolutely love and keep me going. Since I was a child, I always loved beauty. Mm-hmm. And I also always loved art, and I found what I do right now is a combination of both.
It's actually, yeah, exactly.
It's absolutely, and I think I'm the luckiest person, to fulfill the dream since I was a child. It's happened to be that I had a training and had a master's degree in electrical engineering, and I was working as an engineer for quite number of years. I was working as an engineer in Atlanta for 9 years, almost 10, and I passionately hate it.
So, I gotta ask you this. I mean, you're in an industry. I mean, you have an electrical engineering degree. You're working in the electrical engineering field, and you passionately hate it. You know this is not for you. Since you were a little girl, beauty and art.
Yes.
And so you're looking, I'm guessing, where can I fulfill my dream? Where can I combine art and... It
was not quite like that. I was doing what I was doing as an engineer because I had responsibility. I had to raise my daughter, who was a young child. And so my personal goals as a professional were kind of like secondary. So
you have to put food on the table. So that's your role right there. Okay, so
yes.
I have to do this.
So when my daughter went off to college, I talked to myself and it's like, I have to do it now. That's my time. It was very risky because I had to drop cold turkey the career, which, like you said, put the food on my table.
The safety of a job.
Absolutely.
Sure.
And the stability.
Sure.
But we have a saying in Russian, people who don't risk, they don't drink champagne.
Say it in Russian.
Кто не рискует, тот не пьет шампанское. This
Beautiful.
is how it sounds.
That's how it sounds. Great.
And I did that very, very risky step. I was scared to death. But honestly, from that moment, I never looked back. It was the best decision I ever made. And I started with training as a skincare professional.
Sure.
And it was logical, to explore myself in that field. And I took my first class 14 years ago for permanent makeup. And I started practicing since then, combining my aesthetic skills and my permanent makeup.
Let me just add something to it, because you are an engineer.
Yes.
And so you have a very analytical mind.
I am.
which is a very inquisitive mind. And so you have to find out what comes after 2, after 3, after 4, after 5. So did you apply that type of thinking into the aesthetics, into this type of industry?
I didn't think directly like that, but probably undermined, it always applies, my
Sure.
analytical mind always
Sure.
worked in whatever I
The
do.
why of things and how of
Absolutely.
things.
Yes, and definitely it's implemented in my business, definitely. So I kind of spread my expertise in some other things. And a few years ago, when I happened to meet Bryce, it was given. It was a logical thing to add to my expertise of the permanent makeup
You're
professional.
already doing it, right? You're
Yes.
already doing it. You want to kind of
Yes.
expand a little bit. Yeah.
Exactly. And from that point, it just worked perfect.
And again, how long ago was this?
With Bryce, about 2.5 years ago.
2.5 years ago, and
Yeah.
it's been an incredible experience for you.
Very, very good experience.
What is the best thing about what you're doing now?
Sometimes you're physically so exhausted because I work a lot. I'm very, very high demand professional in this field.
People they want to go and see you.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. What's happening in the room where I work, where I do the procedures, if those walls could talk, what they have seen, it's so much emotions. It gives me such a right amount adrenaline that
Yes,
keeps
yes.
me going, because I have seen big masculine men, looking at themselves in the mirror with the tears in their eyes. When I first time saw it, threw me off. I was like, oh my God. Every time I see tears on my client, I cry with them.
Because they are changing. There's a
Absolutely.
transformation. You see somebody that perhaps may be meek, may be very shy in their confidence, maybe with very low confidence. And after they're done the procedure with you, their confidence increases.
Absolutely. And the most important and really fulfilling, that I exceed their expectation, not just meet their expectation, exceed their expectation.
So they're just not saying, "Oh, great job, thank you so much," but they are like way
they
beyond.
cannot even believe the transformation. They're like, oh my God, I knew it's going to be good, but I didn't know how good it's going to be.
What makes you so solicited in your industry?
I really love what I do. And to be successful, you gotta love what you do. And you gotta learn what you already know. What it means, you have to constantly polish your skills. You constantly have to learn something new. So continuous education in beauty industry is a key. Because if you stop learning, you're behind immediately. This is very fast growing industry, and it's very important to keep up and keep the hand on the pulse.
That is probably, if I were to ask you, the best advice you're going to give anybody
Absolutely.
that wants to get into this industry is education, follow that passion, never stop learning.
Absolutely. The material part of any business is important, but if your heart is not in there, you're not in the right business. You have to love what you do.
You said something very interesting, which you said you passionately hated your previous job, but you passionately love what you do now.
Absolutely.
So you went from cold to very hot to being en fuego, like this show right here. So you just love what you do. And just telling me this story right now, I can feel it in you. I mean, your whole demeanor changes. Your face lights up, and your clients' stories, what you hear, if the walls would talk, like you're saying.
Absolutely.
That's got to be the most rewarding thing in the world.
It's very, very rewarding. And, there is no day that I feel like, I wish I stay home today. I wish I don't work. I go there with the wings, behind my shoulders. I really love to be there. I love my clients. And the clients feel that, it's mutual.
It's not as if you have to go to work. You're going to a place where you're changing people's lives. And I think that that makes a heck of a difference.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, I always, I'm also certified educator in micropigmentation, and I always tell my students, you have to think about that every person you touch with your hand, and basically it's faces most of the time, first thing they think of when they wake up and look at themselves in the mirror, they think of you. It's like,
That's a very
thank
good
you,
point.
thank you, Mila. Or, oh my God, damn, what did you do? So I don't want to be damned.
You have a lot of people, I am sure, in Georgia, in Atlanta, Georgia, going, thank you, Mila.
Not only Georgia, actually, I have clientele from all over.
Fly from all over the world. They fly from all
Driving
over the
for
United
8
States.
hours, you know, flying
Just
from
to go
all
and
over.
see you?
Yes, absolutely. I have even clients, you know, from overseas. I have clients from Canada. I just recently had client from Israel flying just to see me. So, how not happy to be about it.
Mila Rosen, I'm afraid that we're gonna, after this interview, if you have a waiting list of people that wanted to see you, after this interview, I think your waiting list just got a little bit longer.
I don't mind.
You don't mind?
I don't mind.
You're so awesome.
Thank you so much.
What do we say now? Nastrovia? What do we say? How do we say? Oh, okay. This is what you got to do for me. How do we say we're out in Russian? We're out.
We're out.
Like goodbye.
До свидания.
До свидания.
Yes.
Can you say до свидания to the camera?
Of course.
Go ahead.
In Russian?
Well, of course.
До свидания.